Hello everyone. Hope y'all are all having an amazing day, an amazing week. I'm coming on just to finally share about my struggles over the last 3 or 4 years with my vocals. A lot of you probably have no idea. I've shared with some of my close friends and family, but I have wanted to share on here for a while and just am finally getting the opportunity to. I about 3 or 4 years ago started dealing with hoarseness a lot more than I've ever had. I thought I got sick and was just pushing it too hard, and that can be a cause of having struggles with your vocals. But I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, I think I got sick and I pushed it too hard and now I'm constantly getting hoarse. I couldn't sing as long as I could before. I was doing, sets on Sundays, 5 or 6 songs. Sometimes it was 2 services in a Sunday, and then it would be usually midweek, at least 1 or 2 times we'd be singing. And I just was getting really hoarse really easily. It was really wearing on me. It was super emotional. I didn't understand. I thought, okay, I'm gonna get vocal rest. I'm gonna take a few weeks off. I'm gonna drink more water, less caffeine. I was trying a lot of different things, and I kept seeing the same results. Like, it'd be fine for a little bit. I'd be like, okay, I got rest, I'm feeling better, and then it'd be like a cycle. It would just come back around. I wouldn't be able to finish sets without feeling like my voice was gone. And it was so emotional, it was stressful, and I kept, telling Donnie, like, I just don't understand what's going on. So once we moved to Texas, I actually got linked up with TCU's speech therapy clinic, and I started going to speech therapy. I did a semester of it, and during that time, towards the end, they were able to do a video scope and take pictures. And that day that they did that, I found out that I had a polyp. I don't know how long it's been there, and there's a lot of things that can cause a polyp. You can just do it speaking wrong, yelling, singing wrong. Like, I used to be a cheerleader, I yelled a lot and probably didn't do it properly. So I know some people that have had polyps that found out it looked like they had it since they were super young, and they were just now finding out about it, and they're in their 20s and 30s. So it's something that you really don't always know when it started. But I'll try and cut to the point here. I had some things with my insurance that I had to figure out because they were telling me, with a polyp, it's most likely going to need surgery. It's way less likely for it to go away on its own than a nodule would. And I was like, okay, great. I hadn't even heard of a polyp. I'd only heard of nodules. And so I was like, great, okay, surgery. That's really scary. And hang on, Jace, just a minute. Sorry about that. So, I was trying not to be afraid of what they were saying. But obviously when you think about the idea of like having surgery on, your vocal cords, that's, surgery in general is kind of something that you don't really want to go through. And then, but at the same time, I was like, well, if this is going to fix it and other people have done it and it's been successful, then I want to do whatever I need to do. So I was like seeking the Lord, praying about it. I was like, God, just give me peace about doctors, what I'm supposed to do. Am I supposed to have surgery? What do I need to do in this journey? And I was like, Lord, like, you can heal, you can do miracles. I'm believing for a complete healing. So my husband was praying for me we're praying together. I told some leadership in the church, like our pastors, and I know they were praying and believing for a miracle. So basically, I finally got an appointment set up, got my insurance figured out, and I went yesterday and saw the doctor, and he said, and let me back up, it's been about a year now since I found out that I had a polyp, and I had about at least 6 months of way more vocal rest than I've ever had. I ended up taking a part-time job on weekends, not every weekend, but every once in a while. I would be judging cheer competitions, which a lot of you may have seen from last year's posts. And it was great. I definitely was able to rest, and it was definitely good in that aspect for sure. So I went to the doctor yesterday, and he said, it doesn't sound like, when you're talking, it does not sound like you have a polyp. And I was like, okay, well, I've seen the videos, I've seen the pictures, it was definitely there. And he was like, okay, well, we'll take a look. And so he was like, are you able to do a scope today? And I was like, sure, why not? And when I did a scope at TCU, they just put something like a little camera and a thin like wire type thing down in my mouth, and just right enough to where they could see, and it wasn't too bad. It was doable. This time he wanted to spray in my nose, numb me, and put this long, from thin to thick, like black thing with a camera on the end, or a light or something. I don't know exactly how it works, but he was like, okay, I'm gonna numb you so that you won't feel the pain. And I'm like, what is going on? I didn't have much time to think about, but I was like, okay, this is not what I was expecting. So he sprayed me. He's like, let me do it one more time just in case. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is about to happen? And so he starts putting this long thing down one side of my nose, and it was like, no lie, it was super uncomfortable. There was definitely a little bit of pain. It was not fun, but it's what it's what had to happen. So he was looking. He made me make some different sounds like E, and that was helping him to open things up and see exactly what was going on. And when he was done, he told me that he did not see a polyp. He said, there's not a polyp, I don't see one. And automatically I was like, it was almost like initially I was like, no, you just missed it. But then I was like, wait a minute, like I was believing for there to be no polyp for the longest time. Like I was praying that it would go away. I was praying that, the Lord would heal me from that, and that I wouldn't have to have surgery. And I guess I knew that the Lord could do it, but I didn't think it had happened. And when I look back, I realized that I have been getting my range back. I have been feeling better and doing better, but I do know that I still have some natural steps to take, just to get to complete 100% vocal health. And so he gave me some different things to do. He said, the next 2 months I want you to do speech therapy. So he's got me set up with that. I am gonna get another video and pictures done just to look at everything again and double check to confirm what he saw. So I'm inviting you all to be in prayer with me about that there will be no polyp, and that I can just continue to take the necessary steps towards complete vocal health. Like I said before, this is super emotional. It was very stressful. I really had to come to a place where I completely laid it down at the feet of Jesus, and I couldn't allow it to just like consume my thoughts and live in fear about what am I going to do, what's going to happen, am I going to be able to continue singing, is it going to change my voice if I, have surgery, just all these things that come in your mind out of fear. And I'm just thankful that the Lord, I feel like he really removed that from me for a long time. Like I wasn't feeling the same way, and I feel like you know, it's just been like a crazy journey, but I definitely, looking back, can see how there was healing taking place for sure. So with all that being said, I know this is a long video, but I want to encourage any of you who have or are going through something like this. I'm here if you want to talk, if you have any questions. I've definitely been doing a lot of research, talking to a lot of people, or if you just want some encouragement in where God's taking you, the steps that are being taken. But just like I said, I'm inviting you to pray with me and believe that my next appointment at my speech therapy, when I go and get videos and pictures, that they will not see any polyp, and yeah, that I can just keep taking those steps. So thank you so much for watching. Love you guys, and I hope you have an amazing week.